Yeah, good morning to all. Yeah, good morning to all. Today we are going to discuss the fifth module, that is structures. Structures. Okay, so what do you mean by a structure? A structure is a data structure which is used for collecting the elements which are of different data type. Structures is a data structure which is a collection of data items of different data type. So when we talk about an array, so array is a collection of homogeneous elements which are of similar data type or which are of same data type. Whereas in structure, it is also array is also a data structure. Data structure means collection of items in a proper manner, placing the data in the memory in a proper structure. We will call that as the data structure. So we have already understood what is an array. Array is a data structure which is a collection of homogeneous elements which are of same data type. Suppose if I want to store the marks of a student, I will write int marks of size 10. So what this says, it will initialize the marks which are of integer type. So in the array, integer type. So the values what we are storing will be of integer type, means all the elements are of same data type. Or of which data type? Integer data type. So this marks will be considered as an array. Suppose if I want to store the details of a student, that is the details of a student. So what are the details of a student? That will be the name of a student, age of a student, marks of a student, and phone number of a student. So if you talk about the details of one particular student, this is a collection of data which are of different data type. So when I talk about name is of which data type? String data type. Age of a student is of integer data type. Marks of a student is of integer data type. Phone number of a student is of integer data type. So the collection of data items which are of different data type, we will call that as the structure. So here marks we have defined using an array type because all the collection of elements what we are taking for marks is of integer type. But when we talk about the details of a student, name is of string type, age is of integer type, marks is of integer type, and phone number is of integer type. So this is the collection of elements which are of different data type. So these are of same data type. And here this is of different data type. So if you want to store the elements which are of different data type, then we will go for structures. So what is a structure? Structure is a data structure. Data structure means organizing the data in the proper format, and which is a collection of data items but of different data type. Okay. When we talk about an array, array is a collection of elements which are of same data type. Okay. That is the difference between arrays and structures. So with this example, you understood what is an array and what is a structure. So you know how to declare an array variable, right? So declaration will be done with the array name followed by the size of an array. So how to declare a structure variable? So how to define a structure data type? So how it can be done? It will be written by using a struct keyword followed by the name of the data type, the name of that particular structure what we are creating. We are going to create a student structure. So this is the name of the structure. Structure we is creating using a struct keyword followed by the name of the structure. Then open the curly brace. In the curly brace, we have to define all these data types. So what is the first data type? I wanted to create name. So name is of string type. So we are creating that by using the char data type. Next is age. Int age. Age is of integer type. Then marks. Int marks of a student. Then phone number. Int phone number. So we have declared the structure and close the curly brace and end with the semicolon. See, in general for void main or any for loop or any curly braces we have created, we are not ending that with a semicolon. But for a structure, in order to declare the student is of struct data type, then we will use the struct keyword followed by defining all the data types of different type, data of different types, and representing that with the curly brace and ending that with semicolon. This is the representation of a structure. So this is a general syntax of a structure. So with this, what happens? A memory will be allocated for the structure. So generally how we have created and declared an array? Array is of integer type and size we have given 10. How the memory is allocated for this? So the memory is allocated just by creating an index starting from 0 to 10. So in the same way for the structure, the memory will be allocated in the sequential manner. So let me show you how the memory is allocated for a structure. So how much data will be taken for a char? For char, it will take 1 byte. For age, integer is of 2 bytes. And again, this is of 2 bytes. And phone number, it will take the data of 2 bytes. So totally how much memory will be allocated? 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. So 7 bytes of memory will be allocated for this structure. Okay. So in this way, we will create a structure. So this will be generally created by using a struct keyword followed by this particular data items. So a memory will be allocated for this. How to initialize the values to these array variables or to the structure variables? How to do that? The structure variables can be created by using a struct keyword, struct. What is the structure name we have created? Student S1. So once I create struct student S1, this is just a structure. No memory will be allocated for this. Once I create an instance for this structure, then the memory will be allocated for this structure. Okay. So S1 means the memory is allocated for name, age, marks, and phone number. So with this, we are just creating the container. We haven't allocated memory for this. When the memory will be allocated for this, once we create an instance for the structure. So this is the general representation of a structure. Structure, student name, the name of that particular structure, followed by defining these things. Nothing will be, memory will not be allocated for this. Memory will be allocated only when we create the instance of this structure. So once the memory is allocated, what is the next step? We have to initialize the value to this structure variables. How we can initialize? That will be written as S1 dot name equals to S1 dot name equals to what we should write? Some name of a student like Sam. Put semicolon. Next, initialize the age of a student. That is S1 dot age equals to 22. Then marks of a student. S1 dot marks of a student. Marks equals to 45. Then S1 dot phone number. So phone number of a student equals to some phone number. So in this way, we will initialize the values of these variables. So once again, I will repeat. See, in generally array initialization done in this manner. declaration will be done is this manner, right? But the data is of same type. Whereas in structure, the declaration will be done using this particular syntax, that is struct name of the structure followed by the data items defined with that particular data types. This is the declaration statement, declaring a student which is of structured type. Then memory will be allocated once you initialize the object or an instance of a structure. That can be done by using struct student S1. So once the memory is allocated, we can put the values into these variables. How to initialize the value to these variables? Through its instance, s1.name, I can initialize the values. Okay, using a dot operator, this is called as the member access operator, which is used to initialize the values of these variables. Okay, now we will write one simple program to understand the creation of a structure, initializing and allocating the memory to a structure. Okay, now we will see one program. Write a C program to create a structure student having details. What are those details? Name of a student, age, marks, and phone number. These are the details of a student. And initialize and display the details of a student. Details of student. Okay, this is our program. So what is the program? We should write a C program in order to create a structure called student. And in that structure, what needs to be created? We have to add these data items into the structure. So once these data items have been added and a structure is created, we have to allocate the memory and initialize these values and just retrieving the data and displaying the details. Okay, we will start from here. Hash include stdio.h void main. So now we have to create a structure. See, structure is always outside the main function. We have to create a structure outside the main function, or after the main function also we get to. So first we will create a struct data type, that is struct student. So what are the things needs to be created? Name, that is char name of size 20. Then int age, int marks, then int phone number. Okay, I will just give it as phone. Close it, semicolon. So I have created a structured data type. This is called as user defined data type. Means what type of data items I can add into that. So that will be added into this structure and it is created. So only structure is created. Now I should allocate a memory to this structure. How to allocate the memory to this structure? So in the void main, we will allocate the memory to this structure. That will be written by using struct keyword, struct student S1. Okay, struct student S1. S1 is the instance created for this structure. So memory will be allocated for this structure. So once the memory is allocated, then we will ask the user to enter the name, address, name, age, marks, all those things. Printf, enter the name of the student. Enter the name of the student. So scanf, name is of which data type? That is of string data type. So we'll write percentile yes, comma. So I can't write directly name. Name is the variable which is declared inside the structure. To access the name from the structure, I can only access through its instance. So I should write it as s1.name. s1.name. So whatever now I enter, that will be stored in s1.name. In the same way, I should ask the user to enter the age, marks, and phone number. Enter the age of a student. Age of a student is of integer data type. s1.age. Yeah. So in order to read the data items of a structure, we will use the instance of that particular structure in order to read the data. So what happens? With this structure, only a structure will be created, not memory will be allocated. Okay, so in the main function, when we write the instance of a structure, struct name of the structure followed by one instance, with that memory will be allocated. Now, name directly can't be accessed. It will be accessed through its instance. So S1 dot name. Name is of which data type? String data type. So we will be writing percentile s S1 dot name. Similarly for age, and then here for, this is for marks. Enter the marks of a student. Marks of a student means S1 dot marks. And next, enter the phone number of a student. So phone number of a student. So I have given it as PNO in structure. So I should write the same. See, here I have given PNO. So that needs to be created. So this is for reading the data, initializing the data or structure data. So structure is created, memory is allocated. Now we are initializing the values of the structure variables. So once I have read it using scanf function, now I want to print the details. Printf, we will write the details of student are, what are those that we will write it here. First is printf name of the student. So I will write it as name, colon. Name is percentile S. From where I should access? From structure. So S1 dot name. Okay. Similarly, we will be writing it for age, marks. We will write it for name, and then age, then marks, and then phone number. We'll just write. So age is of integer data type, so it will be percentile D, and here the variable is age. Marks is of integer type, so percentile D, and here we should give marks. And phone number is of integer type, percentile D, and here I have given it as PNO. So that completes the reading and printing the details of the structure variable. See, once again, let me explain. Structure data type. See, if you want to store the data items of different type, then we will go for a structure. See, structure is a data structure, which is a collection of data items of different data type. So for different data type, we have to create one structure. Once the structure is created, we have to allocate the memory for it and then initialize the values to it. So I have told one program, write a C program to create a structure named student, having details name, age, marks, phone number, and initialize and display the details of a student. So these are the data types we have created. Hash include stdio.h. Structure always should be created outside the main function. This is only a structure, only a container is created. The memory will be allocated once we create an instance of a structure. Okay, so in main function, we will create the instance of a structure. Whenever S1 is created, a memory is allocated for this particular student. Okay, so struct student S1, enter the name of a student. That is, it will ask the user to enter the name of the student, that is S1.name, and enter the age of the student, S1.age. Through this instance only, the value will be stored. Now, after reading, scanf is for reading the information. Now, if I want to print it, I will write printf, and displaying the content is always done to this S1.name. So in this way, a structure will be created for a single instance.